This is the Zhiyun Cinepeer C100, and as far as I know, it's the most powerful battery-powered light you can get. Everything I shot in this video was using this light, but before I get into the light and how I shot everything, I want to explain. Does anyone remember the Strobist? Back before YouTube was the place for education and learning, the Strobist was the blog for learning portrait lighting. It introduced me to great photographers such as Dan Winters and Joey L. This was around the time that speedlights and strobes were just becoming cheap enough for anyone to be able to get, and they were also becoming powerful enough that it was allowing anyone to be able to shoot environmental portraits with lights in the same way that Leibovitz or Mark Seliger had always been able to do, but for a fraction of the price. And it really sort of kicked off a trend. It didn't look natural, and it wasn't meant to. Of course, some people did it better than others, and eventually there was a move back to more natural lighting that we're still seeing today. But you sometimes still see this kind of lighting in fashion. Even just a few months ago, there was this Calvin Klein ad shot by Merton Marcus with completely fake lighting. But one of the top comments on that video is talking about how great the lighting is. So are we going to see a comeback of this kind of lighting? This is where the C100 comes in. This is the first time we're seeing a light that is affordable and powerful that we can use outdoors. So that's what I wanted to do with this light. The lighting plan for this is pretty simple, just getting the light as close to Nikki as possible, while also keeping it in the same sort of direction that the natural light was coming from. That just allows the subject to pop out while being able to drop the exposure of the background a lot. I also want to say thanks to Tom and Tyler for helping me out on this shoot. Couldn't have done it without them. Also, Zhiyun did send me these lights, but did not pay me anything for this video. This light feels incredibly well built. It's got a solid heft to it, metal construction. It's got 1/4-inch mounting holes on the bottom and the top, physical controls, and you can also charge it via USB-C. So if you're out in the field, you can grab a cheap power bank and charge it as you're going. Of course, it's got all of the usual color controls, lighting effects, but I was more interested in this in just the sheer output that it offers. It also comes with this mounting bracket that snaps on really nicely and provides another couple of 1/4-inch mounting holes. Although when I was doing this shoot, I preferred to use Cardellini clamps. Unfortunately, the Cardellini clamps I had were 2 different brands, and there was a tiny variation in the spigot size, so I couldn't fit them both into the same knucklehead, which just meant that I had to end up rigging up a super clamp to the light stand to get both of the lights on, which still worked out fine, but it wasn't as neat as I would have liked. It also includes a diffusion sock, a grid attachment, and these barn doors that sit on really nicely. I personally wouldn't even bother using the grid attachment because these barn doors do just as good a job. I did use the grid for a product shot of some shoes, but I was getting that double shadow, so I ended up taking it off, and you can see the setup I was using here. Right, here we are, we've made a little enclosure, shooting some shoes. We've got a little book light going on with a 600D. Blacks everywhere. We've got the C100 coming in, acting as a top light on the shoe. Okay, I found that it was getting a little bit dark in here, so I've added in a second light. We've used these inbuilt barn doors just to flag it off the background, just to show you what that's going to do. Because we just want it putting a little bit of light just on the shoe. The same thing is happening with this light. We've got this door, just keeping it off the background. And it's honestly doing a pretty good job of that. I did have an issue using the grid that comes with the light. It created this sort of double shadow, triple shadow, quadruple shadow, and the result I also got to use these C100s on a quick corporate job where originally I was using the diffusion socks pointed straight at the subject, and I realized I had so much power left in the lights, but I ended up taking the sock off and pointing the lights into the ceiling and the wall, which was just giving me way softer, even lighting. Zhiyun are also bringing out a bracket mount for these lights, which will allow you to stack 4 of them together, essentially making a 400-watt battery-powered light you can take anywhere. So I've got a link down below if you want any more details, and I've also got a code down there for 10% off if you want to pick one up. And I will catch you guys next time.